All right, here with the father and trainer of Vergil Ortiz, my man Vergil Ortiz Sr, FightHype.com, here with your man. Seeing Virgil doing lots of interviews, that's rare for a fighter on weigh-in day. Is that just speaking to how comfortable he is at the new weight?
No, actually, Virgil always does this. Yeah, he always gives everybody interviews. Sometimes he's a little too nice, actually, and we gotta save him and pull him off. But no, he always does this.
Yeah. Even on weigh-in day, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. he's a product of the people. He loves the people. But he's always been like that. I don't know. He's always like that. He won't turn people down. He'll take pictures, and sometimes it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, But it's just who he is.
He seems more excited than ever, this weekend.
Yeah, well, he's definitely, I would say, anxious. He's anxious to get in there. This kid he has been competing his whole life, and for him out of nowhere not to be able to compete no more, it kind of killed him. It really hurt him. But it's just like he's there. He's there now. He's ready to go.
I think I heard him in some interviews talking about overtraining sometimes. Is that ever an issue to pull him back and not let him go too crazy in the gym? Or
it's not overtraining. What it is so he has a habit like he likes to run a lot. He just likes to run a lot, and I tell him, Virgil, you can't run that much. I'll tell him, well, just run 2 today. Just run 2. And the motherfucker ends up running 7. And I tell him, Virgil, that's not 2. That's too much. And he says, I just like it. It just passes the time. He tells me that he feels that if he's not sore or if he's not tired, wore out, then it's not a workout. So a lot of it comes from him, and sometimes you gotta try to pull him back, but at the same time, man, it ain't like I'm with him every second, and sometimes we got to try to protect him from himself, but that's just that's just who he is.
Why do you think that is? Why is
it's instilled in him since he was a kid. We never took shortcuts. We worked hard. You don't just get 19 knockouts, 19-0, 19 knockouts just because you're good. There's guys that are good and don't even have all those knockouts, He's a kid that works hard, and we've always made sure that he didn't take short corners. He didn't take no cheating on anything. He's just, hey, you gotta do it right. And now he just has multiplied it and amped it up even more. And so that's he's a product of how he's been bred.
Do you think he keeps the KO percentage at 100%? We haven't heard a lot about Lawson. I imagine you watched him and studied him.
I actually have not.
Wow.
I don't watch Virgil's opponents.
Why is that?
I never have. I've only watched one guy, and that was Kowalowski's. Because I'd known of Kowalowski's Kowalowski's was one of my favorite fighters to watch. And the motherfucker's a hard, heavy puncher. Excuse me, that's how I talk.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're good. Yeah.
He's a heavy puncher, and when I saw that Virgil was gonna fight him, I said, motherfucker, we got to watch this guy because people don't realize how good he is, how much of a punch he packs, and there's different kinds of power levels. He has one of the dangerous ones, and I recognize that. And so, anyways, he's one of the guys that I watch. But other than that, I'm not a real boxing like that. I'm not like that.
You get your fill of it.
I'll put it to you like this. Some people are gonna probably move me on there. I'm like a Cowboys fan. I don't care about nobody else's team but my own. So I only watch my own team. I only watch my son. I watch what he does. If I too worry about too much about somebody else, then I'll go off. My game plan is now, you take away from his strengths because you're trying to play into their role. I just stick with my son. I watch, we do his footwork. What if he's maybe open for this, or what he can cover up or clean up. You can't cover everything, or how do you say it? Fix everything.
Right.
Everybody always has some sort of cheat. Your job is to just not let him get in that little danger circle, or stay there too long. Because everybody gets in a certain spot where they shouldn't be. But that's it.
How do you size up the division? Do you feel like you just said you're like a Cowboys fan, you're only paying attention to Virgil, but I don't know, maybe because he wants to fight the champions, but business of boxing can be tough when Tim Tszyu, Jermell Charlo, they're with PBC, he's with so is realistically, is the most realistic path to a title this year maybe a belt the WBA Charlo vacates and it's Madrimov, Israel Madrimov?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Again, with all of this stuff that what's happened with my son with this whole thing, I really don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. And it's more because my son was at 147 for a long time waiting for a belt. He was at 140 waiting for a belt. He didn't get his at 140. He didn't get a shot. And at 147, at the very end, he was supposed to fight in November. People don't realize this. He's supposed to fight in November, and it just kept being postponed. People don't know what's happening in the background. So my hopes up about fighting for a belt. I don't do that anymore. I just worry about what's next. Do I hope he fights for a belt? Yeah, I do. But I'd rather him fight a big name. That's even someone up that's in even 150, 160, 154, whatever. Because I know what the kind of power my son carries. I know he'll be fine. But again, I'd rather him fight and get paid than wait for a belt, because you can't need a belt. He can't need a belt at the very end. I'd rather him have money and be able to take care of himself.
And the family, right?
At the end, that's what everybody does it for.
Right. So Crawford, is that a big fight then?
That's a big fight.
Yeah.
I think that's a big fight. How people let things marinate and stuff. Right now, I think it's a big fight. I don't know if it's a big fight for him, because you have to look at it on the other side too. Maybe for him, if he doesn't make enough money with the, with the, how do you say it? Like the
risk,
game, the risk,
all that.
Maybe for him it's not worth it yet. But for our side, I've always felt. Well, I wouldn't say I've always felt. I've always known Virgil can get in with anybody. He can. He really can. I mean, he's too smart and too gifted not to be able to.
I mean, Kaviaskis said after fighting both of them, he actually surprised people and favored Virgil to win the fight.
Yeah, he didn't want to say that because he didn't want to sound bitter.
Right.
I've talked to him before, and people don't realize and understand how gifted Virgil actually is inside, even defensive-wise, they think, because punches are landing on him that he's getting hit. They don't realize he's rolling a lot of those punches off.
Or it's just the high guard. He's just got the high guard. He doesn't have the...
They don't realize, the high guard is meant to work a certain way. Just like, that's like somebody that fights like Mayweather or whatever. It's like them getting hit in the body. Well, he's blocking the whole time. Don't mean he's getting hit in the body. Right. Or he's getting hit a lot from here. It doesn't mean he's getting hit. It's just part of it. Every style has certain things that they're open for. You just gotta know how to roll them off and how to do certain things.
Well, some high guards get split easy, but then some are like Winky Wright, right? Like
and it's funny you say that, because Winky Wright is one of the reasons why Virgil uses that high guard. When I was a young kid, I was a real big Winky Wright fan with that jab. Winky Wright, Kelly Pavlik, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, you look kind of young for your son to be in his 20s, man.
Yeah,
so you.
I get that a lot.
If that was your era, I guess you're still pretty young.
Like Salvador Sanchez. Sanchez is my favorite fighter. So I watched a lot of those guys, and the jab is the key, but that high guard, if you know how to use it, fuck. It's very unstoppable, man.
Well, lastly, man, so is the most important thing this year just activity? Getting fights in? Or
the most important thing for me will always be my son's health. And for him to stay busy, not only physically, but, to stay healthy mentally, because the sport's draining. It's already mentally draining. One thing that people don't know is that everybody experienced COVID. We all did. That COVID, let's just not say the virus, the situation, it killed a lot of people, as in like inside. It changed a lot of people. They couldn't go outside. They were stuck in the house. They were quarantined.
Businesses closed.
They couldn't. Well, guess what a boxer does his whole life? He's in quarantine. People don't understand this. These guys have been in quarantine their whole life. So that's why when the pandemic happened, this was normal to them. They felt like, so imagine they're already mentally. If normal people can't handle that kind of mental stress.
Crazy, right?
Can you imagine like everything else rolling on there, what they have to endure now with people and people that don't know anything? And so for me, it's just more my son having health and mentally and just being happy, because it can, when you think about it, this life's short, and nothing is worth more than your life. And I just live
So
like
did
that.
you ever think for a moment of not, like, I don't know, mijo, like, we're not gonna box anymore. I don't know, son.
No,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've had that talk with him, and I had this talk with my team, and I'm not saying we'd write him off, but I want him to let him know that it's okay, because believe it or not, this is all he knows. I mean, Virgil is one of the smartest kids in school, and I don't mean just like everybody wants their
When
kid
he
to be
plays
smart.
guitar, you got to be kind of smart.
But
Yeah.
piano and all that,
Right.
but in school, like literally his grades were one of the best. And so he was a hell of a cross country runner. All the teachers love him. He goes, going to college. Very smart kid. Very smart to be doing all this. So even saying all that, boxing's still all he knows. Passionately. And to be able to not be able to do something, not because you don't want to, because your body won't, that can kill somebody inside. It really can. So, I told him, I don't want, my son is very, always wants my approval on everything. Because I raised him, just me and him, we basically raised each other. I was a young kid and I had to raise my son. So he always seeks my approval. He always asks me. He's like my brother, believe it or not. And sometimes, we act like it. We play games with each other and stuff like that. And but I had to let him know that if it was time, that I was okay. That I was okay with it. And not only that, but then I had to accept it, because, man, my son. I have my other kids, but that's my boy. That's my pride and joy. This is my first baby. Your oldest one, your first one will always be your baby. So, it also hit me hard too. Watching him feel the way he felt, and it killed me. And it made me very defensive when I watch people say things like that. You don't even know the thoughts that come across my mind. But anyways, my son has a good head on his shoulder. He doesn't quit. There's no quit in him. And it's just the way it is, man.
Hey, Senior, man, thank you, and God bless, man. Thanks for the time, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.